Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Ihab Tabbara. I've been married for the last 27 years. I've been living in Saudi Arabia for the last 17 years, where I was living on my own. I go back and forth to Lebanon to see the kids, but now they moved away to Montreal, Canada, where they're studying now.
How did your association start with London Business School?
Excellent question. So the funny story about the LBS, if you want to know my story, actually, I've written a book during COVID, and I talk about my life journey and how to become your own entrepreneur. It's published on Amazon, by the way. So if you just Google my name, people can find it. It's easier instead of the book name. But the story of the LBS started actually, I came back from a summer holidays from Miami. And then I came back one day, I was like browsing through the computer and I was searching something on LinkedIn, and a pop-up came up, and then the pop-up said, apply for an MBA. So that's how it triggered me. Something popped up and in the screen, apply for an MBA. It was something that I clicked the link, I went in, I applied, but then I called my wife and said, listen, I got accepted to an MBA. I said, who, what? So we decided doing London Business School because it's top-ranked school among the other top school in Europe and other schools. So which I chose London Business School based on the ranking and the commuting part, because I used to come to Dubai to do my classes here. So it's an executive MBA program, which you still work, but you do it executively, you go part-time to classes. Right. Yes, and that from month onward, I've transformed myself to 180 degree, to be honest. If you see me before, you wouldn't know me. I was a bit an introvert, now I became extrovert. And during the class experience in LBS, it pushed you outside of your comfort zone. That's what everybody wants. So you have to go, during the class, you have to speak about your case study, so you have to expose yourself. And I was something we call the academic rep of the class. So I was in charge already from day one for 55 students. Okay. So that triggered also something that I like to help others in a way, that helped me to be structured, to listen to people, to be attentive. So once the core year finished in London Business School, I decided to open a club in Saudi Arabia for the alumni. There was no existing club in Saudi Arabia for London Business School in Saudi Arabia. In 2018-19, I haven't finished graduate. I didn't finish graduate. I wasn't not yet an alumni, okay. So I'm not entitled to do that. Right. But I took that role. I created this club from scratch. There was no name, there was no one. So I was reaching to each one, and I grew the member from 0 to 100 in 3 months. So we have 100 members in Jeddah. We still have more now, but at that time I grew it in 3 months. So people, word of mouth, they called their friend, come. And I used to do monthly social gathering. Every month we have a social gathering. And then we have a keynote speaker event every quarter of the year. That's how you engage with the community. Otherwise, what's the point of having a WhatsApp group? Fine, it's easy, but you have to engage with them, bring them, invite them. When COVID hit, everything stopped, but I didn't stop. So what I did in COVID is I used to do a lot of webinars online where I invite panelists, retail sector, finance, anything. I reach out to people, CEOs, which I don't know, but of course I'm using the LBS brand, that we wanted to do a panelist. I was moderating all this session. I have done like 9 webinars during COVID to engage with the LBS community and to keep the society alive, because COVID was depressing, so you need to do something else. And that's when I wrote my book on COVID. I wrote my book. I also did a podcasting during COVID. I started doing podcasting. The channel is available on all podcast channels, like the Spotify and all this channel. And it's about me inviting entrepreneurs to talk about their journey. So it's a one-on-one interview with entrepreneurs, founders, and stuff.
When did you decide to be part of the startup ecosystem?
Well, when I finished my MBA, before finishing my MBA, I was a GM of a company. It's a retail business selling building materials across Saudi Arabia. I run and manage 40 outlets across Saudi Arabia. And so when, 2019, let's say 18, there was a bit of crisis in the construction industry. So I did my MBA. And then when I decided to finish my MBA, I decided to quit my job and to take a leap of faith on myself and to go into my own, venture, let's say. So what could that be? I decided to do consultancy. So I went into the consultancy space. Of course, at some time you pivot your business, you have something in your mind, you want to do this. And then recently, 2 years back, I decided to pivot and focus more on the startup ecosystem. And that's why I'm here today, because I am actually the founder of the club. We founded it 2 years ago. I founded the club, and of course you have to bring team members. So I came up with the idea. I spoke to LBS, listen, because I was already a club alumni leader in Saudi Arabia, so they know me, they know their own reputation. I told them I want to do a club for the entrepreneurship because it doesn't exist in the region for LBS. They have a club, in entrepreneurship club in London, but they don't have it here. And they were thinking to do something here, but they need someone to run it for them. At the end of the day, it's take a lot of energy and effort and consistency and all the kind of things to run a club. So I founded it, and then from that moment we did last year the competition. It was also in the campus in Dubai and DIFC, and then this year we decided to. I also sponsor. I got the deal done with Astrolab because it's all about doing the deal flows with Astrolab to host us in their venue because you're looking for a sponsor. Right. So any event has to have sponsor in terms of in-kind awards or money prizes or stuff like that. So that's how I went. Because being me and the consultancy and working with startup, I decided to found the Entrepreneurship Club for LBS.
How has the LBS Entrepreneurship Club grown?
The Entrepreneurship Club, you cannot see it's grown in members because it's not a member club. It's not like the alumni club. Right. Now the alumni club, I'm in charge for the whole Saudi Arabia, by the way. I was Jeddah. Now I consolidated the whole, we have Jeddah, Riyadh, Dammam, the biggest city. So now I'm sitting on the board of the whole Saudi Arabia, and we have 500 members. And just last night we had a big event which is called the Worldwide Alumni Celebration for the London Business School, which I hosted in the British Embassy in Saudi Arabia. But the club itself is not like members coming in. It's all about helping the startup ecosystem. Basically, the E-Club is 3 pillars. The first pillar is the competition. The second one is doing panel discussion all year long and inviting CEOs of startups or even VCs. So what I did in Jeddah in Saudi, I did already one in Feb as a panel discussion with Louisa. She came all the way to Saudi Arabia. And then just recently, months back, I did another one in Riyadh for a panelist where I invited a couple of top VC in the region to talk about the ecosystem of VC. So what we do is we facilitate those kind of things, and we invite outside people from the community of LBS to come and join this panelist because at the end of the day, it's all about promoting the brand, so people can apply to the school. So it's like, for me, I'm just doing it as helping out the whole community, basically.
What is the biggest challenge you see for startups?
Well, it's a funny story, you know what? Because a lot of the founders come from where? Founders come from being an employee and deciding one day, so what they do is they decide one day they want to be start their own startup. The way they do is they stay employed for a while, they build the whole thing on the backstage. Once this grew, once they had a co-founder to run the show for them, then they will think to quit and go being a startup. But because we are hopers, we are believers that we can make it, and I'm sure that they know the success factor, like you say, 1% is there, but that's what makes people push them outside their comfort zone and they want to try something at least. If they fail, they fail, but if you don't try, you never succeed and you never learn, right? So that's the same. People want to try, they want to see the dream growing, they want to see their name somewhere. But a lot of people ask me myself why I didn't start my startup. So I could talk on it for hours, but it's a special time, special moment, special opportunity. A lot of startups, they asked me to be a co-founder. Actually, just a couple of days ago, somebody asked me, "Come, I'm waiting for you. Reply to me." It's not easy. Co-founder is commitment. You have to work the process. You have to. Once you sign up, you cannot go back. So for me, circumstances, family, a lot of plays, and the role its plays. It's not the age factor. It's more that for me, it's easy to do it, but it's more on the commitment side of how long I can sustain myself being a startup or working with them.
To your knowledge, what is the current percentage of startups that succeed?
Well, actually, they have to know that it's a longer road. They have to be patient, and nobody. It's not nobody, but it's take 1% of success stories to be able to make it. Some stories succeed, which for me doesn't make sense. I don't know how. It's all about, let's say, the political ecosystem game and the startup, the VC game, let's say. We call it the VC game. Oh, they want to have eyes on the startup. Let's make it hype. Fine, but the model itself does not make sense in my mind. It's my personal opinion, but it's all about being lucky and knowing the right person, the VC, or a buzz, let's say, That's why the incubator helps you to have that buzz. If you're inside, they'll put you in touch with the whole ecosystem or VCs. They will know your name. So once you start commuting, networking, you increase that hype on yourself. Oh, let's invest in this company. And then you go up. You scale immediately.
How do you see the journey of London Business School's MENA Startup Competition 2023?
Well, this event started, I think, I don't know, others told the story, but the events, especially the second edition of that event started in Jan. in the planning process. We called out for application in April. We opened up the application for 2 months. We had 100 applications applied. Then we selected 30 applications to go to the semifinalists. Then those 30 semifinalists went into 2 to 3 months of mentoring between one-on-one session with mentors, which is all volunteer mentors, by the way, and institutional mentors like workshop during that 2 months so they can be ready for the next round. So we did the virtual semifinalist round on the, I don't know, I forgot when, September. We selected 10, which they come here, and those 10 were also doing some mentoring to prepare their pitch rehearsal and also their pitch deck themselves. So we want to make sure everything was smooth. But this year is definitely being the last year running the show, and this year running it, we have really excelled ourselves. We went above and beyond in terms of media. As you guys, thank you so much for being here. Sponsoring, a lot of sponsors came in. A lot of people want to be part of the committee. We will be very selective, and it's going bigger and bigger, and hopefully next year we're going to do it most likely in Saudi Arabia, because this is where the scene is happening and is growing, and yeah, that's my it's a group decision that you have to decide, all of us, but most likely in Saudi Arabia.
How is the quality of startups this edition?
Much better prepared, because we set them, we prepared them, we make sure what we want from them. A lot of sustainable startup, 2 of them are sustainable startup in the green, clean tech, bit of fintech. We decided what to focus more because of the COP28, so we want to go into sustainability. So we did that, but as you see, very good pitches. Some of them already raised funding before coming to here. Well, the whole idea of the competition is what? For us to facilitate them to bring the VC so they can listen to the pitch and make that connection and contact. That's what we're doing. We are facilitating. We're not an incubator. We're facilitating the whole scene for the startup, non-LBSers or LBS, or anybody within the MENA region. That's our role, what we're doing. And of course, elevating the LBS brand by doing that. You know, like the MIT, they have one called MIT something. So that's the idea came from them, because they had a club for entrepreneurship. So we want to be the second best or the first best, whatever.
What tips can you offer to budding entrepreneurs?
I believe, of course, there's so many different industries to focus on, but your strengths is what you know. So start with what you know, what you're strong at. You're a tech guy, fine. You are specific, retail sector. Start with what you know. Don't bring a co-founder that he knows. You are the founder. You bring a co-founder that has complement your expertise, let's say. So you're a team. And by the way, founders or VC do not invest in one solo co-founder. You have to have minimum 3 founders. Could be CEO, CTO, CMO, whatever you call it. 3 guys has to be on the board, on the cap table. Otherwise, VC will tell you no. So from day one, think about who are your founders. So don't come on later after 2 years. Oh, I need to look for my co-founder. Start from now. You have a co-founder, but do what you know, what you're best at. Don't think outside the box of okay, there's a gap in the market. Of course, there should be a gap, because we know a startup is there, closing a gap somewhere. But know what you know. Don't think don't do something you don't know. It's impossible. That's my humble advice in any business. I'm not talking about startup.